and Entertainment Network. Yes, hop aboard this train of thought. Weekly, 60 minutes of work. I got you. Sports talk, soul beats, and life. Again, the Marcus Harper Podcast, weekly on the SME Network. Check me out. Life is good.
Coming straight from the A.
Kick it with your boy Kesey at www.kesey.com. His show covers some of the realest issues trending today. He'll keep you locked in from the first listen. You can find him online on his mobile app or at kySii.com, xsquadaffiliates.com, iTunes, Google Play, and especially on the SME Network on Tuesdays at noon. You don't want to miss it.
Protect yourself at all times. The referee issues that reminder because it's important to a fighter's safety and success. Doug Stewart here to tell you about the team at Strickland Security and remind you that living in the metro Atlanta area is sometimes like boxing. You've got to protect yourself at all times. There's nothing more important than ensuring the safety of your family and your home. And for business owners, protecting your business is critical because it's your livelihood. Strickland Security can satisfy all of your security needs. The staff at Strickland Security has a combined 55 years of experience protecting people and property, from alarm systems to uniformed security guards and everything in between. Strickland Security has an affordable solution for you. To see a list of all the security services they offer, visit their website at stricklandsecurity.com or give them a call at 800-422-9075. Again, that's stricklandsecurity.com or give them a call at 800-422-9075. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. 1974 is the year, Throwback Thursday. Now this really old school right here.
Though you may not drive.
Don't this sound like a song from Shaft?
Cadillac.
Yes, sir.
Against the white walls. TV antennas.
So, quick story. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So I always talk about how my uncles, after they left my hometown, they moved to New York City, and periodically they used to come back. And when I tell you, my uncle Donnie used to come back to the crib, and he had like a real big ass stinking Lincoln. Oh my gosh! And I'm gonna see him this weekend. So my uncle Donnie would come back, man. He'd drive down, it's 12, 13-hour drive from New York. And he'd have that big stinking Lincoln, man. It was burgundy. And whenever he'd come down, he'd always be dressed to the nines. My Uncle Donnie kind of started that thing Butch Lewis used to do, where he'd wear a suit, he'd wear a vest and no shirt. He would do that. That was him. And always have on a big brim with a big feather sticking out of it, looking like, a character from Good Times or whatever. And he always used to give me $5. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. He used to always give me $5. He used to give me $5 whenever he'd roll up. Whenever he'd roll up and open the door, you'd hear something like this playing in the background. Oh, no, you wouldn't hear that playing in the background. You'd hear something like we heard coming back from the break in the background. I screwed that up. Damn. It's nostalgia in here today, man. We're talking about 1974, man. Here are your favorite or the most popular, a couple of popular sayings back in 1974. This was the first year that the advertising phrase "taste great, less filling" came out. That was Miller Lite beer back in 1974. 1974, good times. I mentioned them a little while earlier. Back in 1974, the phrase "Dynamite was supreme." J.J. Walker from Good Times. Dynamite. They were hot cheese back then. And also back in 1974, okay, this was the year Godfather was out. So Godfather Part 2, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. That was the great Al Pacino in The Godfather Part 2. Yeah. Yes, sir. Hey, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougshow.com. Let me read some of your messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com from That Ninja. Ooh, I knew we were going to hear some commentary from That Ninja. He really doesn't like Adrew Luck. He thinks Adrew Luck gets a pass and gets too much love, too much credit for being an average at best quarterback. So I knew we were going to hear from That Ninja. That Ninja also has a show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, The Underground Railroad. One of his guests that comes on my show every once in a while, we got to get him back on. We got to get Uncle Ruckus back on the show. We did an incredible interview with Uncle Ruckus a couple of weeks ago from the Boondocks. I don't know if it was incredibly good or incredibly bad, but we got to get Ruckus back on. That Ninja says 2 years before Adrew Luck got into the league, they were kissing his ass, and since the media doesn't practice journalism, they have to back up what they said rather than tell the truth. Yeah, I can see your point there. You're exactly right. They praised him so much that it's hard to say you're wrong. It's hard to go back and really give criticism that's due based on what he's done recently, because you basically threw bouquets at the cat for 5 years, even when he was in college. And Mel Kiper once again said that he was the best quarterback prospect since John Elway. Now, he might turn out to be that, but to this point, he hasn't done a lot. He hadn't done more than a couple other cats who I talked about earlier in the NFL. So, I don't know. From Loose Neck Butter Pecan Cy, we talked about butter pecan ice cream yesterday. Uncle Donnie was putting chicks out on the side of the road when they started tripping. You better believe that. You better believe that. Yeah, Uncle Donnie, they call him Killer back where I'm from. I don't know what he did in New York, man. People just say he lived off the land. I don't know. I don't know what he did. Always wear a nice suit and have a big brim hat with a big feather sticking out of it, and wearing vests with no shirt and rings and jewelry and, stretch cars and, Lincolns and stinking and all of that. I don't know what he did. Some people just say he lived off the land. But that was a long time ago. And I really don't know what living off the land means, but that's what they used to say. From Rico the Illis in Nebraska. Speaking of Nebraska, man, shouts out to my homeboy, man. Teammate at South Carolina State University for half of a year. I think he played in the NFL for 12 years. Robert Porsche, his son just agreed and committed to the University of Nebraska. Yes, sir. Lil Rob. Lil Rob, not so little, though. When we went on our little golf trip a couple of months ago down there in Orlando, we hung out with Porsche and went by his house, and he's got a fat crib, obviously. And his son was there, man. The first time I had met Little Rob, I think he's a senior coming up this year in Orlando, whatever high school it is. And kid is like spitting image of his old man. Like 6'4", 250 pounds right now, defensive end. He had like 12 sacks last year. And he's committed yesterday to the University of Nebraska. And so very proud of that young man, man. It's good. It's funny when you realize that your ass is getting old because the guys that you knew, the guys that you grew up with, the guys that you play with, the guys that you knew personally, their kids are in college, about to leave college, about to play in the NFL at some point here very soon. Another cat that I played with that half a year at South Carolina State, Orlando Brown, Big Zeus, played offensive tackle. Excuse me. He played offensive tackle for the Baltimore Ravens. You remember Big Zeus. He actually died a couple of years ago. He was the guy that got hit in the eye by the referee's flag. You remember that whole story? But his son is spitting image. I mean, Porsche's son is a spitting image of him, but Big Zeus's boy is really the spitting image of him. Like 6'7", 340 pounds, the exact same dude. And up until this day right here, I never seen a person bigger in my lifetime than Big Zeus, man, Orlando Brown. And his son is at Oklahoma, and he's been there a couple of years, offensive tackle. So it's really crazy, man, to think about it. My cousin John, I talked about this summer, his son is probably going to be a first-round draft pick coming up this year, defensive end at Youngstown State. So it just makes you feel kind of old, but it makes you also feel kind of proud. It also makes you feel kind of proud. I haven't talked about this at all, and I meant to talk about this on Monday, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You know those girls that appeared at the BET Awards the other night? And I can't find the names of them right now. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and I can't pull it up right now. But there's two young black girls that performed at the BET Awards the other night. Very, very talented, man. I can't remember their name right now. Somebody will tell me probably. I hate when this damn thing does that. I was trying to pull up the post that I had from the other night on Facebook. But anyway, excuse me, I'll tell that story here in a second. But their father, I actually know very well, went to summer camp with him. He's actually from the next town over. From my hometown, Monk's Corner, South Carolina. His name is Douglas Bailey. And it's like 9 of them. As a matter of fact, I had his brother on this show, Joey Bailey, probably like a year ago, and talking about some business endeavors and doing some positive things in the community. But I had his brother on the show like a year ago, and I actually grew up with his older brother, which his name is Douglas Bailey once again. We used to go to 4-H camp together, Monk's Corner kids and St. Stephen kids, which is the next town over once again, man. His daughters, I can't find their names right now, man, but they really turned it out the other night at the BET Awards, man. They actually moved out to California to pursue their entertainment objectives, I guess you could say. Here they go right here. Chloe and Halle. Chloe times Halle or Chloe X Halle that performed the other night, man. They people are right there from the low country of South Carolina, man, and they are phenomenal, man. Ball awards to them. It just makes you feel kind of old. It just makes you feel kind of old. You got a lot of talent down there, boy. From Corey, sounds like my great uncle John Henry, except he had a white Lincoln, white interior, land yacht. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The stinking Lincoln was the thing back in the day. Like, you were bad if you had a caddy, but if you had a Lincoln back in 1975, oh, you was the man. You were the man. My Uncle James, my uncle-in-law, by marriage, married to my Aunt Gertie in New York City. My Uncle James, who drove the train in New York City for like 30 years, he drove the subway, he had a champagne-colored stinking Lincoln. Oh, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. These young people today, they don't like big-ass cars like that. Land yachts, like they call them. I don't know. This is a different day and time. All right, when we get back from the break, man, I know I said I was going to read a lot of chat, and I kind of digressed, and I got talking about other things. But that's okay. That's okay. When we get back from the break, man, I'll jump back into the chat. How about that? I'll read more of your chat. I'll try to read more than 2. And also, man, we're still talking about 1974. Got some NBA free agency talk out there, man. And what I talked about happening and what I thought should happen, it might actually happen. I'll tell you more about that when we get back. This is the Doug Stewart Show.